and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brigitte and I am going to talk to you today about 10 ways we are cutting costs in 2025 to save big. Thank you to all of the new viewers that I've gotten and new subscribers. I appreciate every one of you and I love seeing your names in the comments. And when you comment more than once, I get to know your name and then get to know who you are, and it's so special to me. So I just wanted to say thank you. Now, as we enter into the new year, I think that most of us are thinking, how can I save money this year? So the first thing I want to talk about is, yes, you probably guessed it, grocery shopping. If you've seen my channel at all, then you know that I have a ton of grocery haul videos, and I love doing grocery haul videos because it shows how you can use simple ingredients to make meals. And not just simple ingredients, but the basic ingredients, because that's my number one cost cutting tip, is to stick to the staples. We buy a lot of stuff in bulk, and that's because it's basic ingredients. We buy things that we can make bread with, that we make rice with. We don't do a ton of beans here, but if beans are okay for your stomach, then by all means go for the beans. But a lot of things that we can make tons of different meals with. So just stick to the basics. You got pasta, beans, some chicken, some beef. Ground beef is the cheapest. Frozen vegetables, fresh produce if you want, even canned fruit, okay, to use at the end of the month. All of these things can help you to save money. We tend to shop once a month and then go in for a filler haul in the middle. But if you're shopping weekly, let's say you don't have the space or it's just too much and you need to scale it down to kind of wrap your mind around everything, definitely use the sales as well. You can use cashback apps like Fetch Rewards or Ibotta to save even more money, but stick to the staples. Tip number 2 is meal planning. Yes, I'm a big fan of meal planning, and I like to stick to certain themes for each day. So we've got Meat Monday, Taco Tuesday, Chicken Wednesday, Pasta Thursday, and Pizza Friday. Now, how we do these things obviously changes, but a lot of times doing the same type of meal on the same day eliminates a lot of the forethought that you have to do in order to make your meals. So I always have ground beef for our Taco Tuesdays, and we just make bowls. We make taco bowls. So we have ground beef and we have all the toppings, rice underneath, cilantro, sour cream or ranch, salsa, cheddar, guacamole if we have those little cups, or avocados. Keep it simple, keep it basic. My kids don't eat all of those things on theirs, but they can top it with whatever they want. So it makes my life easier because they can customize it to what they want, but I'm still making the same meal for the whole family. Meat Monday can be anything that you want as far as meat goes. So sometimes we even do like tuna or canned chicken things, something that is simple and easy. Or since it's a Monday, I might do something a little more, I stress the little, more gourmet, because Sunday I have off. And so I can kind of prepare it and take a little more time on the weekend, and we can have those leftovers and just reheat them on Monday. But whatever works for your family, keep it simple and just meal plan. It will keep you out of the stores and will help you to save money. And to make it even easier, you can do a 2-week meal plan and just rotate it. Tip number 3 for saving money in 2025 is to use thrift stores and your community. So thrift stores, obviously, it's a big one. You can get secondhand used items, clothing, furniture, stuff like that from thrift stores, and you're gonna save money because, well, it's secondhand. But also, I would encourage you to use your community. Let your needs be known. And I know this takes vulnerability, but there are so many people out there that would love to probably bless you if they knew what you needed. So we moved into a new area in February, as you guys have probably gathered from previous videos. And so it's been about a year, and I've been on the lookout for people that have kids that are a little bit older than my kids, of the same gender, so that I could just say, hey, if you're getting rid of clothes, we would love to take them and give them to a new home. My kids would gladly wear them, and it would really help us out. And a lot of times, and I say 99% of the times, people are looking to get rid of clothes. They are ready to like give you trash bags full because they just want it out of their house. And that is the great place to be on the receiving end. But also, I've been looking for people that have kids under my kids' ages that I can bless them and give them clothes. I'm telling you, I have bought probably less than a couple $100s worth of kids' clothing. And we have a 9-year-old, almost 6-year-old, and 1-year-old. And I've bought hardly anything simply because we have community. And I was vulnerable enough to say, hey, If you're getting rid of clothes, we would gladly take them. We take what we want and we donate the rest, whether it's to people we know or just back to the thrift store where we get other things. I've also been a part of like a girls swap where people bring clothes that they no longer want or that they just have too much of, and there's been like a clothing exchange party, and that's been a lot of fun. But I would encourage you, try to look for secondhand options or hand-me-downs when you can, because it's definitely going to save you money. Tip number 4 is to do a once a month Amazon cart. I am in a busy season right now and we use Amazon probably more than we should. But I've been considering doing a once a month Amazon shopping cart checkout, because this would let us see the entire cart and all of the money that is accumulated in one number. So it's not like when you get hit with all these smaller transactions and you don't realize how much you're spending, but it's all together. And so you go, oh, well, I don't know if I really want to spend that much money. Let me go back through my cart and see, is this still really necessary? And a lot of times those things have lost their appeal. They've lost their, shininess, and so it could maybe wait and hold off. So we have been considering, and we have done this in the past, doing a low spend January. I'm also going to talk about some other stuff we're doing in January, but that is one way that you can definitely save money in 2025, is by letting your cart accumulate online, wherever you shop online. Amazon, I think, is the most common, but doing it at one time so you can see the cumulative effect of all the little things you put in the cart. This is also why I really like to, as I just talked about, do a once a month grocery haul, because I see the total number and I know what my budget is, and then I'm only going to shop probably one more time during the month, so I can allot extra money just for that. And I try to get all of the ingredients we need. It forces me to meal plan at the beginning of the month, and I like to see the number all up front, and that way I can stay in budget a little better. Also, when you're doing online shopping, don't forget to use browser extensions like Honey in order to save you money. They will scan and make sure that you're getting the lowest price on that item. Tip number 5 to save money in 2025 is to do a no sugar January. Sugar is just not necessary. Do we like it? Yes. Is it good for us? No. So by cutting this out, you are absolutely not missing out on anything except for the money in your pocket. We are going to do a no sugar January. We're going to do fruit. But other than that, no processed sugar things, cookies, cakes, brownies, all of the things that somehow end up into our pantry and then in our mouths, whether it be our pantry, our friend's pantry that we go to have dinner at their house, or at work. And if you're anything like me and you're like, but Brigitte, I can't do that because we have so many sweets in the house. I mean, the holidays are basically here and there are things everywhere. I don't want to waste them. And neither do I. So what I have been doing is anytime we have sweets that enter into our house and we've eaten it for like a couple of days, I will freeze the rest. I bag it up into quart-sized bags and stick it in the freezer. That way it's out of sight and out of mind, basically, for the kids. And I can, in the future, pull it out as a nice treat. It's already made, it's already ready. I don't feel like I have to eat it right then and there, because sugar upon sugar upon sugar is just, it wreaks havoc on your body. So, okay, having it once a week, fine. I think that's great. Like a little indulgence, like a little special treat. But when it's out and I feel like I need to eat it because I don't want to waste things, I think it's horrible for our bodies. It just keeps inundating it and causes our inflammation to go up and causes us to just feel crummy and tired. And I don't want that. I want to accomplish a lot in 2025. What about you? What do you want to accomplish? And so far, are any of these tips helping you out? Let me know in the comments down below. I've also done a pantry challenge in the past in January in order to save money. So we cook everything that we have already. We try to use up things that aren't the first things we would necessarily go to, but we want to use up. We want to get it out of the back of the freezer, out of the back of the pantry. I know Three Rivers Challenge does a pantry challenge in January and February, and she eats only the things that are already in her house, doesn't buy any extra groceries, and I think that is a great idea, a great way to save money in 2025. If you don't want to do a totally no spend in January, just do an essential low spend. Maybe you set a very low grocery budget for yourself and then only spend exactly what you need to get through the month. Number 6 is to cut subscriptions. So this means Netflix, Amazon. I mean, I guess you could at least pause it, but we have gotten rid of all of our streaming services. We use the library for a lot of things, audiobooks as well as digital books. And then obviously we go there and get physical books for our kids to read. So we're not just cutting subscriptions, but we're trying to replace it with other things like books. So we like to read a lot, and so we've been using the library up here, and it's been a great way to save money because we're not, one, just vegging out and sitting in front of a screen that's streaming things, but we're actively involving ourselves into a book, and I think that's great. You get a better night's sleep when you're not watching things at night, and our kids are allowed to have a little reading light. It has a yellow setting, so it's a very dim, like incandescent yellow, and they're allowed to read books until they fall asleep. And I'm going to start doing that as well. It's not like I spend a ton of time doing things. I don't like to sit still very long, so I don't typically sit in front of the TV or watch a lot of things on my phone, but I really want to start reading more at night because there are so many good books I want to read, and I'm just not finding the time to do it. And so I'm going to make time. I'm going to read at night. You could read things on a Kindle, which has a different kind of light and setting. So I think it's better for your eyes at night. And then also using stuff through your library like Hoopla and Libby, they can do audiobooks. I've listened to a ton of audiobooks and I think it's awesome. Tip number 7 for saving money in 2025 is to cook from scratch. So since we're grocery shopping and meal planning, cooking from scratch is gonna be easy. But what I like to do, because I don't wanna cook every night, nor do I have the time to cook every night since I work Monday through Friday, I try as best as I can to bulk meal cook. So if I'm making something, we definitely eat it 2 days, maybe not in a row, but maybe we skip a day or we eat it 2 days later. But if we aren't gonna get to it, I try to, as soon as I realize we're not gonna eat it in the next like 2 to 3 days, I try to freeze it in portion sizes so that I can just pull it out for a quick meal. So whether that's my meal that I'm taking to work, or if that's a meal that we're gonna have later on in like another week or so, we can just pull it out. It's ready to go. All we have to do is reheat it. I freeze portions of rice, of mashed potatoes, of beef. I'll freeze taco bowls, like all of it all in one. I'll freeze pasta, and it works great because then I basically have like a little meal pack in a quart-sized bag. There's probably a lot more things you can freeze than you might think. If you have a question about what you can freeze, leave me a comment down below and I will let you know my thoughts. I also like to bulk make pancakes, or when I make sourdough bread, I will pre-slice it and then put it into gallon freezer bags so I can just pull out whatever size slices I want. Like if I'm the only one eating it, then I just pull out one. If all my kids are eating it, then I'll pull out several. But making bulk muffins and breakfast items, today we actually just made bulk like sausage McMuffins. So I have sausage patties that I got from Aldi, English muffins, and a slice of cheese. Like we all assembled them together, wrapped them in plastic wrap, and then put them back in the sleeves that the English muffins come in, and we froze them. So those are easy to pull out. Wrap a paper towel around them, and then just microwave them. And the kids love them. You can also air fry them if you don't like the microwave. Tip number 8 to save money in 2025 is to shop around for insurance and cell phone and internet providers. Now, every few years we look into this because our car insurance, definitely it can change. And sometimes staying with one company is the best deal, but sometimes shopping around can save you thousands of dollars. So every year, every couple of years, I would encourage you to look into shopping around, take a few hours, call some places, and just see what they can quote you, because if it can save you money, like, it's worth it. You can use online comparison websites like Zebra or NerdWallet to help you kind of narrow down what you're looking for. Tip number 9 to save money in 2025 is to drink water and to use reusable tumblers. We bring water everywhere we go. Not only is water better for you than other drinks, but it's free. And we like our Berkey water, so we always bring water with us. Now, if we're at a restaurant, obviously we just order water, but bringing water with us helps us to not have to stop and get something to drink and then be tempted to, oh, well, I could get a soda, or oh, the kids want some juice, or oh, unsweet tea. Like, are those the horriblest things for you? No. But to save money, sometimes you got to do things that are a little unconventional. So we just drink water and we bring it everywhere. Okay, but we do love our sparkling water, but that's not a daily thing. That's considered a treat. And when our kids get it, oh my gosh, they go crazy. And I make them split a can because otherwise Bria won't finish a whole can and then it's a waste. And that's not saving money. If you do want flavors, it's gonna cost you, but you could use an electrolyte type powder like Element. We have the watermelon kind we really like. So if you do need a little flavor, you can take a packet and just sprinkle in a little bit. I honestly can't handle a whole pack at once. It's just too much for me. And so I like to sprinkle a little bit in if I'm feeling like, oh, I really want something other than just plain water. Although I do love plain water, and all of our kids, even our baby who's 1, drink plain water, and that's the thing that is expected. If they get anything else other than that, it is like a treat. Save money, drink water, and bring it with you in reusable tumblers. Tip number 10 is to change your energy saving habits. So we wash everything in cold water in our washing machine, which is whatever is flowing from the tap, that's the temperature it is. So that's one way to save money. Unplugging any unused devices is a way to save money. To be honest, I am not that great at this, but I do think it would be a good practice. Switching to LEDs, I think the majority of our lights have been switched to LEDs, and since we rent, we actually usually change out all of the light bulbs when we move into a new place, and they are all LEDs. Also, change your air condition settings to a heat-cold setting. So we like to, especially because sometimes it's hotter, sometimes it's colder where we are now, set our thresholds on either end, and so we set it a little bit colder on the one and a little bit higher on the other, so that way it's staying in there and it's not necessarily kicking on. So it's not using energy to heat or cool our house. It kind of stays in that middle range, and that's one way that we save money. We have the Nest. We really like it. We've had it actually probably over a decade, and we just replaced the AC thermostat wherever we move to, and I have no complaints about it. I love it. Although sometimes we have this joke, we're like, oh my gosh, let's say it's summer, right? We're like, oh my gosh, it's really hot. What is this Nest trying to kill us? Because it'll have like 80 degrees as like the internal temperature, like that's what it's gonna set to. And we're like, oh my gosh, it's so hot. What are we doing? Turn it down. At that point, we're not saving money. But if you wanna save money, make sure you have a thermostat control that you can control. And we like to do it remotely, so it's awesome. You could also consider a no lights evening, which I think is pretty cool because we've been trying to, in the evenings around 6 o'clock, trying to do all dim lights and low level lights. So we have like a lamp on a table that we set, but we try to turn off all overhead lights, especially the fluorescent ones, in order to help our body to know that it's getting to be nighttime and to start producing melatonin so that we can sleep better. So it's been really cool. We've been trying to light candles at the table when we're eating dinner, to use all those low lights, and we have found that it's pretty cool and helps us to sleep better, to get in that mindset of, hey, it's time to wind down, it's time to not act crazy, children, but we're going to get ready for bed in the next hour or 2. The shed door is like swinging open with the wind, and it scared me. So those are 10 tips on how to save money in 2025. If you have any others, I would love to hear them in the comments below. That way we can all learn from each other. And thank you again for all of you who have been trying to binge watch my videos to help me get up to my 4,000 watch hours so that I don't get demonetized. I sincerely appreciate it. Let me know your goals in the comments below. Until we meet again, don't forget, life is better together.